The truth about Angel Reese's locker room drama is so disturbing that it's threatening to derail the entire Chicago Sky season and publicly humiliate a WNBA legend. What I'm about to show you has been hidden from the public for far too long, revealing a level of disrespect and team dysfunction that will completely change your perspective on the league's rising stars. Stay until the end, because what I reveal about the front office's secret decisions and Angel Reese's true motives will shock you to your core.
Well, it goes to show, if you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust, and she even decided to go after a legend, the legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season, and she is in the midst of making a comeback. And, of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend.
The reaction from fans drives the point home. Vandersloot's supporters admire her, respect her, and want her to succeed. Reese's online army. They attack anyone who dares criticize her, dragging the conversation into the gutter with cheap insults and personal attacks. Like it or not, a fan base reflects the image of the player. Clark's supporters amplify her greatness, while Reese's defenders tear others down. That says it all about their leadership.
At this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to.
The Draymond Green comparison? Honestly, it fits. Reese racks up technical fouls, thrives on confrontation, and constantly finds herself in the middle of drama. The disturbing difference? Draymond has 4 NBA championships to justify the chaos. Reese has nothing close to that. Without the wins, the antics don't look like passion. They look like staggering immaturity. Now zoom out to the bigger picture, the WNBA itself.
The Chicago Sky teammates of Angel Reese, Ariel Atkins, Rachel Banham, Courtney Vandersloot, 3 ladies which were targeted in that hit piece that Angel Reese slid underneath the table. Yeah, they responded. Not only did they respond, but the Chicago Sky responded as well.
The league is finally getting national attention, growing its audience, and pulling bigger crowds. The undeniable centerpiece of that surge is Caitlin Clark. She's the magnet. Reese benefits from that spotlight, but instead of using it to elevate herself and her team, she generates the wrong headlines. At a time when the league desperately needs stability and professionalism, she's delivering distraction and controversy. That's why Vandersloot's response was so sharp. She didn't need to say anything, but she chose to. She made it clear she wasn't going to let Reese or anyone else rewrite her narrative. By calmly affirming her value, she reminded the league that veterans still matter, that leadership still matters, and that respect has to be earned.
We can't rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, 2-time WNBA champion, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, oh, dang, oh, damn. It's all right, Courtney. It's all right.
Reese may think she's building her brand by speaking out, but in reality, she's alienating teammates, free agents, and maybe even the league itself. If she keeps this up, her career could easily follow the same path as other potential stars who bounced from team to team before fading out completely. The Caitlin Clark comparison seals it. Both are in their second year, but Clark is viewed as the future of the WNBA, a player who can carry a franchise and bring fans into arenas. Reese is seen as a polarizing figure who creates headlines for all the wrong reasons. Both are talented, but only one is building long-term credibility that will stand the test of time.
But can Sky Nation expect to see you back here next year?
Oh, absolutely. You know, contrary to what people say or think, my age is absolutely not a factor. I am coming back. I'm going to come back better than ever because that's what I've done. I put myself in a position to come back and compete even at this age.
Better than ever. Thank you so much, Sloot.
So Chicago has a decision to make. Do they continue enabling Reese, hoping she somehow grows up? Or do they cut their losses and move her before her reputation tanks completely, taking the franchise down with it? Vandersloot's comments highlight the stakes perfectly. If Reese can't respect legends like Courtney Vandersloot, why should anyone believe she'll respect the game, the league, or even her own teammates? That's why this saga matters. It's not just about one suspension or one careless remark. It's about the culture of a locker room, the direction of a franchise, and the trajectory of a player who could either become a cornerstone or a cautionary tale. Vandersloot didn't just clap back. She laid down a line in the sand. Respect is not optional. Reese thought she was speaking truth, but all she did was expose her profound immaturity.
Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese. There, I said it out loud. I think it was continuous drama.
The official story they want you to believe paints a picture of a young star clashing with a veteran, a natural growing pain in a competitive league. But what really happened behind closed doors was far more sinister. Courtney Vandersloot, a 5-time All-Star and 2-time WNBA champion, finally broke her silence, and her words were a direct counterpunch to a rookie-turned-sophomore who has consistently pushed boundaries. This isn't just a fractured locker room, it's leaking chaos everywhere, raising the real question, is Angel Reese burning bridges faster than she can build them?
You can tell it's just some turmoil going on in Chicago right now, and it kind of brings up the question, like, what is going to happen with Angel Reese at this point? I think she's done playing.
Here's the part that nobody saw coming. Reese's brand has been built on stirring the pot since her LSU days, but that act is starting to wear thin. Why? Because if you're bold enough to go at a legend like Vandersloot, you better land the punch. Reese's jab, it missed badly. Courtney Vandersloot isn't some bench warmer you can casually disrespect. Her resume is stacked higher than Reese's highlight reels, louder than her sideline antics, and infinitely more meaningful than any Instagram caption.
In the beginning of the season, you was missing mad layups. You was shooting like 27% on layups. I saw Ariel Atkins at the podium holding you down. I didn't see none of your teammates going in the media blasting your ass for not being able to make a damn layup. We haven't seen none of your teammates come out and flame you for how you was missing layups back to back to back to back to back. You had like 8 straight games where these dudes won hundreds of thousands of dollars betting that you would miss your first shot. None of your teammates came out and embarrassed you publicly. They held you down and supported you.
But wait, it gets worse. Angel Reese, barely 2 full seasons into her pro career, tossed out public comments questioning Vandersloot's age, her durability, and even if the sky should trust her to return at full strength. This wasn't just shade, it was an open-hand slap at one of the most respected veterans in basketball. Meanwhile, her imaginary rival, Caitlin Clark, because let's be honest, most of this rivalry exists in Reese's head, is already the centerpiece of the Indiana Fever, dragging an entire franchise back into relevance and rewriting WNBA history.
I would be highly surprised if Angel Reese is on the Chicago Sky's roster come the start of the 2026 or the 2027 season. The Chicago Sky, they might be saying to themselves, Angel Reese just isn't worth the headache that she is causing. Great rebounder. As for everything else, she's not worth the headache that she's causing.
The real story starts here, with a hidden detail that exposes the depth of Reese's misjudgment. Courtney wasn't asking for handouts. After tearing her ACL, she's been grinding harder than anyone, intense rehab sessions, grueling workouts, interviews showing nothing but focus and determination to come back stronger than ever. The last thing she needed was her supposed teammate suggesting to the entire basketball world that she's washed up. This next detail will change everything. Reese didn't just say it behind closed doors. She said it publicly in an interview.
It says here, Tyler Marsh called it a top-down organizational decision, declined to share which comments were viewed as detrimental. Atkins implied the team supported the decision. Ownership handled it how they see fit. She told the Sun-Times, a shooter on Friday, they have full support from our team.
Locker room venting happens everywhere. Sure. But dragging a teammate's name through the mud on camera, that's how you torch trust in record time. Vandersloot, naturally, didn't let it slide. When asked about her future, she didn't hesitate. Contrary to what people say or think, my age is not a factor. I'm coming back better than ever. Boom. That's a direct counterpunch aimed squarely at Reese. No sugar-coated subtweets, no veiled references, just a veteran clapping back with cold, hard facts. She's not done, she's not slowing down, and she's not letting some sophomore hothead write her obituary. Reese wanted smoke, but Vandersloot reminded her who really sets the standard. Zoom out for a moment and look at the bigger picture. Vandersloot's legacy is already cemented. She's done the work, earned the rings, and earned the respect of her peers. Angel Reese, meanwhile, is still a project, trying to find her place. Instead of focusing on her growth, she's swinging wildly at legends whose accomplishments she hasn't even come close to sniffing. Vandersloot has more championships than Reese has playoff appearances. That's not hyperbole, that's reality. And then you glance at Caitlin Clark, because whether Reese likes it or not, the comparison always follows. Clark, just like Reese, has dealt with physical fouls, targeting, and non-stop media attention. The disturbing difference? Clark doesn't throw teammates under the bus. She doesn't shade veterans. She takes the hits, gets back up, and keeps moving Indiana forward. That's the mark of a franchise cornerstone. That's why fans love her. That's why sponsors flock to her. Reese may have the marketing hype machine on social media, but Clark has the leadership gene you can't fake.
Chicago Sky values the safety, respect, and well-being of every player. We are committed to accountability so our players can stay focused on playing basketball. Because of statements detrimental to the team made by Angel Reese during league-mandated media, she will not play in the first half of the game on September 7th against the Las Vegas Aces. This matter has been handled and resolved internally, and we are moving forward as a team.
The Sky's suspension debacle is just the cherry on top, exposing something far more sinister than a mere player dispute. A half-game suspension. That's not discipline. That's comedy. The Sky basically said, hey, we'll punish her for 20 minutes and hope she learns her lesson. Nobody respects that. Not the fans, not the media, not other players. Vandersloot's words, by calmly affirming her value, exposed the Sky's shocking lack of control, grit, accountability, and focus. That's what professionalism looks like. Meanwhile, Reese looks like she's running her mouth faster than her game is developing. The contrast is glaring. Everyone's talking about this but missing the real story. Reese's fan base didn't help. Her online supporters went nuclear, hurling insults at Vandersloot, trashing her career and pretending like rings and accolades don't matter. It was nasty, it was childish, and it reflected back on Reese. Because whether she admits it or not, a player's fan base becomes part of their brand. Caitlin Clark's fans, they build her up, celebrate her, and spread the word about her greatness. Reese's fans, they drag legends down and cry conspiracy theories. That speaks volumes about the player they champion.
Angel Reese facing her first bit of accountability here in the WNBA. Unapologetically, Angel, the Chicago Sky don't care about any of that right now. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about go out and say what you want. Be unapologetic. They have no time for that. They have a business to run. They have teammates that they care about, players on the roster that they're looking for. You know what? We got to send a message. This isn't cool to Vandersloot. This isn't cool to Banham. This isn't cool to Haley Van Lith. We got to show the other players on the roster we have your back as well.
Here's where it gets absolutely insane. The delicious irony. Reese keeps talking about wanting better teammates, wanting championships, wanting to elevate Chicago. But tell me, what elite free agent is going to sign with a team where the supposed star publicly disrespects veterans and fuels such toxic fan behavior? Free agents talk. Agents talk. Everyone in the league notices this kind of dysfunction. Why would anyone walk into a circus tent willingly? The Chicago Sky front office cannot be let off the hook either. They let this fire burn unchecked. That half-game suspension was not just laughable, it was a devastating revelation of their impotence. Either you stand by your player and address the issue directly, or you hold her fully accountable. Trying to do both made them look weak. The front office looks spineless, the coach looks powerless, and the whole team looks like it's spiraling. Throw Angel Reese's antics into that mix, and congratulations, you've got the perfect recipe for a wasted season.
It is looking spooky in Chicago. Instead, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Berman or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading them to the leading the playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky roster with WNBA championship experience. We are aware of it, Marsh stated. We are addressing it.
It looked like it's happening. Angel Reese is asking out of Chicago already.
Angel Reese officially puts the Chicago Sky on notice We're not doing the same thing this offseason that we did last offseason. Stop bringing me bums to play with.
And while we're being blunt, let's just say it, Angel Reese is no Caitlin Clark. Not in leadership, not in consistent production, and certainly not in how she represents herself or her team. Clark has already cemented herself as the face of a franchise, the focal point of the WNBA's explosive growth, and a proven leader under pressure. The WNBA is an unforgiving league. If the drama you bring to the table outweighs what you produce on the court, franchises won't hesitate to move on. Right now, Reese is walking that tightrope, and she's wobbling. This just happened, and the internet is going crazy. Because Reese's suspension didn't just draw attention, it raised a much bigger question. Does the Chicago Sky actually know what it's doing with her? A half-game suspension isn't discipline, it's window dressing. That's the kind of punishment you hand out in high school, not in the pros. It tells everyone the Sky are stuck between two bad options. They want Reese on the floor because she sells tickets, but they need to look like they're doing something because the locker room is a powder keg. That's not leadership. That's cowardice disguised as accountability.
Now, how many players are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about Courtney Vandersloot? Are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about her current teammates? How many players are going to say, oh yeah, I want to play with that player who has no problem throwing me under the bus with 3 games to go? I want to play with that. Maybe not many.
Angel Reese, oh damn, has been assessed with 8 technical fouls, and she will be suspended for Friday game unless it is rescinded. And I'm telling you right now, look, he said it best, her attitude. That mug ain't getting rescinded. Angel Reese has struck out again.
Courtney Vandersloot, on the other hand, has never had to play that game. Her career is the definition of consistency, accountability, and professionalism. 7 assist titles don't happen by accident. 2 championships don't fall into your lap. They're earned with relentless work, unshakable discipline, and the respect of teammates. When Vandersloot tore her ACL, she didn't lash out, point fingers, or search for excuses. She put her head down, committed to rehab, and let her determination speak louder than words. Reese could learn volumes from that example, if she were humble enough to listen. But that's the issue. Reese doesn't appear interested in listening. She looks more concerned with controlling the narrative. Through her comments to the media, through the online battles waged by her fanbase, or through her antics during games. It's all about Angel Reese, the brand, rather than Angel Reese, the player. When you're only in your 2nd season with 0 playoff credentials to your name, that kind of imbalance doesn't just look bad, it looks devastatingly self-destructive. Contrast that with Caitlin Clark again. Clark has absorbed more punishment than any player in recent memory. She's been fouled hard, targeted relentlessly, and nitpicked by critics and even former players. But through it all, she's focused on her game and her team. Clark understands something Reese doesn't. Leadership isn't about headlines or Instagram likes. It's about resilience. It's about how you respond to adversity when everyone's watching. That's why Clark's reputation keeps growing while Reese's keeps sinking. Now let's get into Reese's comment about Courtney Vandersloot being too old. That wasn't just careless, it was flat-out disrespectful. Vandersloot's value is proven. Her vision, experience, and playmaking are things no younger player can replicate. To dismiss that outright doesn't make Reese look bold. It makes her look immature and uninformed. This isn't honesty. It's arrogance dressed up as straight talk. Think about the dangerous message this sends across the league. If you're a veteran considering Chicago as a landing spot, and you hear their young star dismissing older players publicly, why would you ever sign there? The trust is gone before you even walk through the door. Winning in professional sports requires trust, and Reese is corroding that trust faster than the Sky can rebuild it. Vandersloot's clapback worked so well precisely because it was calm, confident, and grounded in reality. Everyone knows she's earned the right to speak. Angel Reese hasn't. When Vandersloot says she'll return stronger, people believe her. When Reese talks about the team needing better players, fans and media roll their eyes. That's the credibility gap, and it's massive.